empirical formula. So today we will calculate molecular formula. Okay, so let's see how to calculate the molecular formula. Okay, let's see in worksheet. Just a- Okay. So for molecular formula, you need molar mass as well. Okay, last time when we were discussing empirical formula, so I told you that you will be given molar mass in your question as well. Sometime you will be given molar mass, and if you are not given molar mass, so you will be given data to calculate the molar mass. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Directly you will be given molar mass in this in this case, or if you will not be given molar mass, so I have pattern question. So we will see that how we can calculate the molar mass. So first, you have calculated empirical formula, so no need to do it again. I will directly calculate molecular mass with the help of two data. You need to calculate the molecular mass. First of all, you need empirical formula. And in last class, we have calculated empirical formula. First data you required for the calculation of molecular mass, molar mass, and second is empirical formula. Okay, so suppose in this question we have calculated empirical formula. One question I am going to explain, then you will practice it. Okay, look at here. Okay, let's see another one. This is not fair. Okay, so you are given in this question, you have calculated this question empirical formula in last class. So molar mass is given 544 gram per mole. Okay, and you have calculated empirical formula here. The empirical formula of this compound is C3H4O6. Okay, this is empirical formula, and here you are given molar mass 554 grams. So how you will calculate? Basically, this is the formula. You need to calculate the empirical formula. Empirical formula is given. You have calculated empirical formula. So empirical formula, actually in this question, you have to calculate the number of n. Okay. So you have in empirical formula, you will calculate the molecular mass. You calculated the molecular mass. I'm just writing over here. C3H4NO6. N is equal to, this is the formula that you need, you will apply to calculate 554 gram molar mass. So you need to basically calculate the value of N. So how will you will calculate the value of N? First of all, you will calculate the molar mass of this. So 12 multiply 3, you know it very well how to calculate this. Plus 1 plus 4 multiply 96. So directly I'm writing over here 136. N is equal to 554. Okay, if I want to calculate the value of N, so it will be 554 divided by 136. So the value of N is basically, let's see, directly the value of N is 4. Value of N is 4. So what I will do, I will multiply my empirical formula by 4. So this is my empirical formula, C3H4 and O6, I will multiply by 4. You can write down the whole bracket. So 4 3s are 12 and 4 4s are 16 and O 24. So this is basically my molecular formula. Am I clear or not, beta? Hello? Yes, is it clear? Yes, beta. Is it clear?
Yes, okay.
Clear? So you need to apply this ratio. Basically, what I am going to do in this question, this is, sorry, empirical formula you have calculated with the help of your given data. So molecular formula is basically n of the empirical formula will be equal to molar mass, and for calculation of this n, first of all, you will calculate the molar mass, this one, and this is relative formula mass is equal to molar mass, and n you will calculate, and when once you will get n, multiply the empirical formula by this value, you will get molecular formula. Is it clear? Ji beta, is it clear? Okay, let's do one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will solve one question. Let's see if you are given here. No, not in this question. Okay, let's do this question. With this one. Okay, let's first one. In this question, basically your empirical formula is this one. Okay, I'm writing it again. This is your empirical formula you have calculated by given data C21, H21, and N2 and O2. Okay, and your molar mass is 334. So can you calculate the molecular formula by this empirical formula and molar mass? Yes, beta. Yes.
Why it connection is unstable. Like I keep disconnecting from the meeting. So I didn't hear what you said.
What you are saying, sorry, your net is not working properly.
Yeah, so I disconnected from the meeting like right now.
Okay,
So I didn't hear what you said.
should I explain again?
Yeah.
Okay. This is your empirical formula. You are given this empirical formula. Okay. Okay, empirical formula. This is your empirical formula, and this is your molar mass. With the help of these two values, I will calculate molecular formula. Okay. So I am writing here this empirical formula. Okay. N2 and O2. Okay. This is my empirical formula, and I will create formula. Empirical formula N is equal to my molar mass, that is equal to 334. Okay, what I will do, I will calculate this formula mass 21 multiply 12, then 21, then 14 multiply 2, and then 16 multiply 2 is equal to my molar mass 3N. I will write down N here, 3334. So let's see what is directly, I will see what is the value. They have not calculated yet. Okay, let me calculate. Where is calculator? Just a minute. I have to calculate it. 21 multiplied by 12, that is 252 plus 21 plus 28 plus 32. So it is 333. It is 333N is equal to 3, 4, and if I want to calculate n, so it will be 333 divided by 34 divided by 333. So it approx 1. Still there, the calculation is clear or not, beta?
Yeah, it's clear.
Clear? Up you get the number of value n. So let me know what will be the molecular formula if I will multiply by 1. So you will get the same molecular formula.
Yeah.
Okay. Because your value of n, you have to basically, the simple rule is that first of all, you have to calculate n, and when you will multiply your empirical formula by n, you will get molecular formula. And for the calculation of value of n, you have to write down this equation from where you will calculate n, and once you will get n, you will multiply your empirical formula. So because in this case, the value of n is 1, so when I will multiply the whole formula, empirical formula by 1. So in this case, empirical formula and molecular formula will be same. Is it clear or not? Okay, beta? Yes, Kasim, am I clear?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So I told you to calculate molecular formula. First of all, first requirement is empirical formula, and you know very well how to calculate the empirical formula. Okay? Okay. And the second requirement is you must be given molar mass. Okay. And with the help of this two data, you will calculate molecular mass. But sometime, in some cases, if you will not be given molar mass, so first you will calculate the molar mass. I have one question. Let's see. Okay, in your past paper, I have not seen to calculate the molecular formula, but because it is in your syllabus, so I have to teach it. Okay. In your past paper, I have not seen. Okay. Last time you have calculated this question. An oxide of phosphorus contained 43.7% of phosphorus. And then you have calculated the mass of oxygen by subtracting 43.7 from 100. And you have proved that P2O5. Okay, till here you have done this question. Now what they are saying, you have to calculate molecular formula as well. So I told you for calculation of molecular formula, you need empirical formula, and empirical formula is here. What is empirical formula? P2O5. This is your empirical formula. And the second data you need, that is molar mass. This is the formula. You need molar mass. But for molar mass, I am not having molar mass in this question. Okay, this is the question. But a sample contain oxide this mass. Rather than molar mass, they have given you mass. So with the help of this mass and mole, two data you are given. So can you calculate molar mass with the help of these two data? Yes, can I calculate, beta?
Yeah, we can divide mass over mole.
Yes. You first I will calculate with the help directly they have not given molar mass. But to calculate the molar mass, they have given data mass divided by mass and mole. So I can calculate this data. I will apply this formula. What is the formula? This is the formula. Mole is equal to mass upon molar mass. You know it very well. So when I will divide, I will get the molar mass. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, in the question, you will be given this data molar mass directly. But if you are not given, you will be given mole as well as mass. So with the help of mass and mole, first you will calculate molar mass as I have calculated here. The mass was 2.5 and mole is 0.00901. So when I divided, I get the molar mass. Okay. Then I will keep here like this. phosphorus, you know that phosphorus 31 multiply by 2 plus oxygen 16 multiply by 5. Okay. And here I have calculated molar mass with the help of mass and mole. I will write down here. Okay. So let's see, calculate 31 multiply 2.
One,
Yes. Have you calculated?
one,
This is 142. It is 142 N. Okay. Is equal to 284. And if I want to calculate N, so 284 divided by 142. So I will get 2. So value of N is 2. So what I will do, I will multiply my empirical formula with N. So my molecular formula will be P4O10. Is it clear or not?
yeah, that's clear.
Okay. So there are two conditions. Empirical formula, you know very well the steps. First of all, you will calculate mole, then divide by least value. And if you are getting in decimal, you will make it whole. And finally, you will write down the empirical formula. And N of empirical formula is basically molar mass. You will be given molar mass in your paper. So directly you will calculate the N. If you are not given molar mass, so no need to worry. You must be given mass and mole. So with the help of mass and mole, first of all, you will calculate molar mass, then value of N, and with N, you will multiply your empirical formula, you will get molecular mass. I told you in some cases, empirical formula and molecular formula is same, but in some cases it's different. Like in this case, empirical formula and molecular formula is different, but in first question, empirical formula and molecular formula was same because the value of N was 1. So, any doubt, beta?
No, understand.
Okay. So, inshallah, I will send you a detailed worksheet I have. First of all, I was just practicing with you. So, inshallah, after this class, I will send that worksheet. Okay. That consists of all question, empirical formula, percentage yield, percentage composition, a compiled worksheet. So, I will share soon. Okay. So, the another concept I have seen your paper, that is percentage composition, percentage by mass. So I'm just, yes, okay. So I'm just going to calculate the percentage by mass. It's very simple. In daily life, we use percentage by mass everywhere. Even as a teacher, I calculate percentage of my student subject wise. So it is very applicable. Let's see. So we'll do practice of that. Just a minute. Percentage by mass, or we can say percentage composition. Okay, so this is the formula. We will do two or three questions, then we will move toward the percentage. That is the last topic, percentage yield. Okay, so percentage composition, because I have seen these sort of question in your paper, percentage by mass and percentage composition. Okay, so this is the formula. Basically, if you want to calculate the percent, suppose that I'm not doing this question, suppose that this is the formula of water. Okay. And if I'll ask, this is consist of how many elements? Yes, how many elements are present in water?
Two,
Two. Which one?
hydrogen.
Hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So if I ask, what is the percentage of hydrogen in water and what is the percentage of oxygen in water? So how will you calculate it? Look at here. Okay. First of all, this is the percentage. You will calculate the percentage of elements that are present in compound. I told you that this water is a compound that consists of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Any compound can contain more than two elements. Okay, so basically water is consist of two elements. So I can calculate the percentage of each element. So if you want to calculate the percentage of that element, you will write down the mass of that element and you will write down the mass of total compound and multiply by 100. How? Suppose I want to calculate the percentage of hydrogen. Okay, let's see. So this is the formula I'm directly writing. I will write down the mass of hydrogen. So there are two hydrogen and one is 1 to 2. And the total mass of this compound is, you know that 18. Okay, so I will write down 18 over here and multiply by 100%, means in 100. So what answer I will get? 2 divided by 18 multiplied by 100. So 11.11% hydrogen is present in water. Am I clear better or not? Okay. And in the same way, if I'll ask, just calculate the percentage of oxygen in water. So very easy. I will write down 16 oxygen, 1 oxygen, 16 divided by 18. Okay. Multiply by 100. So it's approx 88 something. Let's see. I think so. 16 divided by 18 multiply by 100. 88.88. So this is very simple calculation. And to verify, when I will add these two percentages, it must be equal to 100. Am I clear, beta? Yes, beta, is it clear? Yes, any confusion in it? बेटा ये clear है? Is it clear? You are facing problem. Net is not working properly today.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So any confusion till here?
No.
No. So it is very, very simple. Let's do one or two question practice. Do one or two question, then we will move toward the next concept. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, beta. Let's solve first question. A fertilizer contain three compounds. Okay, ammonium sulfate, ferrous sulfate, iron sulfate or ferrous sulfate, and sand. Sand, the formula of chemical formula is silicon dioxide. Okay, we will read question very carefully. Calculate percentage by mass of nitrogen. So first of all, nitrogen. I have to calculate mass of nitrogen in which ammonium sulfate. So you are given three formulas. So no need to, there is no nitrogen in it, no nitrogen in it. They have asked to calculate percentage of nitrogen in this fertilizer. Am I clear or not?
Yeah, okay.
So what I will do, I will write down the mass of nitrogen here and I will write down the mass of whole compound here and multiply by 100. So can you do it, beta?
Yeah.
Okay, just do it. Solve it. Why you have written 24? There are two nitrogen. One nitrogen is 14. So yes, beta. 28. Very good. And calculate the MR of formula. This one. Yes. 2 multiplied by 14 plus 4 multiplied by 2. Yes, okay. 32. Sulfur is 32. And you can directly write down 64 or 16 multiply 4. It's up to you. Yes. Yes, very good. Okay. Yes, very good. Right. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Good. Multiply by 100. Hmm. Very good. What is the answer? 21.21. Yes. So is it clear?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, in this way, I can calculate not only nitrogen, I can calculate hydrogen, I can calculate sulfur, I can calculate oxygen. But in paper, you will calculate the percentage mass of that element which you are asked to calculate, not all. Okay, so very good. Next question. Just do this one. Question 4. Can you calculate it? You have to show which fertilizer contain greater percentage of nitrogen by mass. So can you calculate it?
Yeah.
Okay, just do it. You have space over here. And then I will tell you a little bit different question, then we will wind up. Okay. Very good. Mm. And here, first of all, we will see how many nitrogen is present. Sometimes students do mistake. They write down the mass of only one nitrogen. Okay, that's good. Yes, your working is right. Mm. Mm. Will divided by no, it is 35%. 35%. Yes, okay. Now you will calculate it in this one, and then you will compare which one has more nitrogen. Okay, good. So which fertilizer contain more nitrogen? This one. Okay, very good. So you have to compare this one. Very good. I'm telling you a little bit different question. Then, okay. So just read question 5. Fertilizers supply the essential element nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium for plant growth. A bag of fertilizer contains 500 gram of ammonium sulfate and 500 gram of potassium nitrate. Okay, calculate the percentage by mass of nitrogen in the bag. Okay, so what you will do, the procedure will be same. Okay, I will see that ammonium sulfate. So there are 2 nitrogen means 28. And then I will calculate the formula mass, whatever is here. Multiply by what? I have to calculate in the 500 grams. So rather than writing 100%, you will write down 500. Am I clear or not, beta?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is little bit different question I told you. If you are not given ki fertilizer bag contain this much, so then you will multiply by 100. But if you will be asked to calculate a fertilizer that contain 500 gram, 1 kg, whatever, so then you will multiply by that given value and calculate percentage. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So any confusion in these sort of question?
No.
You will easily calculate percentage by mass. Okay, I have
Yeah.
seen your paper. So one question was given that was too simple. And Alhamdulillah, you have solved little bit difficult question as well. So hopefully you will attempt in your paper, inshallah. Now the next concept, that is percentage yield. Okay, let's see how to calculate the percentage yield. Okay. So this is the percentage yield. Okay, this is very applicable whenever you will do job in the pharmaceutical. And I worked in pharmaceutical for 6 years, more than 6 years in Pakistan before joining the school. So I was in the production area as well as in other areas of the pharmaceutical. So I applied this percentage yield very much. Suppose if you're doing job in you are preparing drugs and paracetamol or whatever medicines. So you are asked to calculate the percentage yield, means how much batch you have prepared. Basically, what happened when we prepare any medicine, any product, so there is a chance we do not get 100%. Suppose that if I am cooking in kitchen, so there must be some wastage as well. So you will never get the 100% result. There must be something that lost during handling error. And so in that case, you have to calculate the percentage yield, means how much product you finally at the end of the whole procedure, the product you will get, that is called basically the percentage yield. One yield that you calculate on paper, that is 100%. Okay, on paper I am just planning that I will use 10 gram of phala and 20 gram of phala material, and finally I will get the 100%. Suppose that I am preparing carbon dioxide. I will calculate that I will take carbon and oxygen, and finally I will get carbon dioxide gas 100% result. But practically when I will do it, there must be it must be less than 100% due to handling error, wastage. So finally I will calculate ki how much I have prepared. That is basically called percentage yield. Is it clear or not, beta?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So percentage yield is basically actual yield that we are doing practically in lab, in industry, wherever you are practically preparing any product. So that is basically your actual yield. And theoretical yield that you calculate on your paper with your calculator, that I will take this material, and the product will be this much. So that on paper, obviously, it must be 100%. But actual yield means that much you have prepared practically. You will divide both values so that you will get percentage yield. And one thing, whenever you will do these sort of calculation in your paper, so in your exam, in your question, this must be given. Actual yield must be given in your question. You have to take out this value from your question. And basically, you will do all calculation to calculate theoretical yield. And when you will divide these two values, you will get percentage yield. So, is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Actual yield you must be given in your question, and theoretical yield you will calculate with the help of given equation, and you know it very well. The procedure is same you have done previously. So I'm solving one question. Then inshallah, in the next class, we will practice more questions. So let's see how we will calculate percentage yield. So this is the question 1. If 45 gram of ammonia is produced, so what feeling you are getting from this statement? 45 gram ammonia is produced. So can I say that the actual yield is 45 gram?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically they are saying कि if 45 gram is ammonia is produced, formed, released. So these are the words that is showing it is actual yield. And how I will produce in the lab? When I will use 42 gram nitrogen that will react with hydrogen. So what is the percentage yield? So this value is given. If I write down the formula, so the 45 gram is given. And in the formula, 100% is also there. The only need to calculate this theoretical yield. And for the theoretical yield, I will do the procedure. This is equation and this is our product. And the data is nitrogen is given. So what I will do with the help of given nitrogen, first I will calculate the mole of nitrogen. Then applying ratio, I will calculate the mole of ammonia. And after that, I will calculate the mass of ammonia and I will keep over there. Is it clear or not?
Yeah, it's clear.
First, you will calculate mole of nitrogen. Then by applying ratio, mole of ammonia, and with the help of mole, you will get the mass of ammonia that you will keep here and divide these two values and multiply by 100. You will get percentage. It's so simple. So let's see. First question, then you will practice the second one. Look at here. I have solved worksheet basically. So this one is the given mass, 28 gram, 40 mass of nitrogen. Basically, it is 42. It's wrong here. It is 42. By mistake, I think it is written 18 gram, 28 gram. It is 42 gram of nitrogen here. Okay. And molecular mass is 28. So when you will divide it, look at here, maybe I have written right. Yes, 42 divided by 28. So I have calculated the mole of nitrogen, and with the help of the mole of nitrogen, I have calculated the mole of ammonia. And with the help of mole of ammonia, I calculated the mass of ammonia. Is this procedure is clear or not, beta? These steps are clear or not, beta?
Yeah,
Okay, then I have this mass. I will keep over here in the formula. 45 is my actual yield